And so it's time to check what you've been saying on the various topics we posted on our social media sites. And the very lovely Aisha is here with me today in a very sunny top.
And it's
looking resplendent.
Oh, thank you very much. But it's always good to see the ever lovely Arabakum sing too. And don't forget, it's on facebook.com/joinnews on TV. That's how you can join in this conversation. On Twitter, it's on Join News on TV. Let's start with Parliament, because the Appointments Committee has recommended 8 out of the 30 ministerial nominees vetted for approval. The delay accompanying the approval of the 5 others, including Senior Minister nominee Yao Safo and Energy Minister nominee Boakye Jaakon, comes as a surprise to many. Well, there are speculations that Mr. Jaakon's approval has been withheld because of some political comments he made during his vetting, while Osafo is to provide an audio of a controversial ethnic comment he made in the past. This certainly has raised some eyebrows. So, a question I ask, do you think this delay and matters arising in the approval of these 2 nominees are necessary, or you simply think it's being overstretched?
For me, I think it's quite unfortunate. With regards to the way Mr. Jaakon was able to perform, I think he's a threat to the NDC. Perhaps maybe there was something fishy with regards to the Ministry of Energy, because what he said Prem Mahama was corrupt. That was, I think, during the campaign era. So with regards to that, sometime during the campaign era, people can come out of some issues, which may be true or not true. But I think these are trivial issues. So the way forward is he should be allowed to do the job, because with compared to those whom were elected that day, you can say Osafo Mafo and Ajako was quite far ahead of them. So why have they been withheld? Maybe they are a threat to the NDC. To me, I suggest there's something wrong at the Ministry of Energy.
Since Mr. Honorable Osafo Mafo too, he has been a member of Parliament before. So he himself should know the procedure and how they also vetted people when he was a parliamentarian. Now that he too is becoming a minister, and I hope he has been a minister too before, and he was vetted before, so he has to go through the normal procedure. So I think that if they want him to apologize, I think it's nothing. He should just apologize to them so that he can get his nod. It's a procedure. If you want to take off a government office, all that you've done in the past have to come to limelight.
Interesting comments from the streets, and I know you also have 1 or 2 things you want to say, and so let's get onto Facebook. Araba, help us.
All right, Kwesi Boateng Ayipa, who's one of our regular viewers, says, I guess the MPs are just following the laid down rules. There's no way the 2 can't be approved. If a dining hall prefect can be a deputy minister in this country, why can't Boakye Jaakon and Osafo Mafo also be ministers? So that's the question he's asking. Ali Mahama says it's unnecessary delaying them because they've exhibited extreme knowledge and competence in their vetting process. They were brave, fully prepared, and handled each question very well. Their delay can't stop their confirmation. Why then delay them? And Sana Mohammed says the delayance, is that a word?
The delay.
Yes, the delay does not have any impact at all. They have nothing to do with the best team. I urge the Umbrella family to be responsible citizens, not spectators. And Maxwell Ajuman says they are simply the best. The NDC are afraid because these men are too eager to work for Ghana, which may result in unraveling some corrupt activities in the NDC.
All right, so those are some of your comments on Facebook. Also, the President, Akufo-Addo, has inaugurated a 30-member planning committee to spearhead activities towards Ghana's 60th independence anniversary celebrations. The committee will be chaired by Kena Mankwa and has representatives from strategic institutions of state. Now, the president says despite the country's economic challenges, Ghana has achieved some milestones worth celebrating, adding it will be a modest celebration. But there have been doubts as to whether the ceremony can be done in a modest way without some money squandering, considering what happened during the Ghana at 50 celebration 10 years ago. So the question I asked, do you think it is relevant to celebrate Ghana at 60 in a special way? If not, how do you suggest we mark this day as modest as is being suggested by the president?
This is relevant because as Ghana is 60, and a committee has been set. Why should the committee be set? It's supposed to be set because for coming on events. So I believe it's relevant for setting up that committee. No, it's not expensive. You're supposed to celebrate the Ghana 60. Yeah, so that's my view.
No, it's not relevant because 60 years is not a jubilee. We have celebrated 50 years, and if it is 100 years, which is Golden Jubilee celebration, I think government can fund it and we celebrate it. But 60 years is not relevant because we have nothing to get from 60 years. So we can mark it like ordinary Independence Day, like as we do celebrate it normally. So I think that is the best way we should go about it.
Oh yeah, but at times you see one program, you see, like maybe you force some committee for it, but the expenditure is at least they should cut expenditure before doing that. Maybe you can form some maybe some nice committee, but not like maybe huge expenses. You see for it.
I don't think it's relevant for now. More especially, we are facing so much financial crisis in this time, and forming this committee, much will be invested into it. People will be coming. I mean, a whole lot will be celebrated. So, so far as I'm concerned, let's look at the challenges we are facing now in terms of economic crisis and just avoid it, or we can still do it as we do it on yearly basis. The normal national, what do you call it, Independence Day, it shouldn't be invested much. They shouldn't invest much into it. It should be like they always do it.
I don't think it's very relevant because looking at where we are now, we have a lot to do. The country needs a lot of money for other things. Like the MPP government is saying, there is a lot that the NDC did wrong that needs to be corrected. So I think that money should be channeled to better things, not organizing the Grand Ghana at 60.
Well, that's not all. There are more suggestions on Facebook. Arba will help us read them.
All right, so yeah, Bomfe Philip says, this to me is needless. I'm in my early 30s and yet to have an actual birthday celebration. That's up to you, y'all. But he says, apart from thanking God for my life and the messages I receive from friends, nothing else. To me, I believe it's needless if you really have some important family issues to attend to. Similarly, Ghana needs important things than just inviting people to come and spend money and expenditure without profit. And Kojo Sniper says, it's another avenue to create, loot and share. We saw it during Ghana at 50 celebration. Is this a priority? They'll spend so much money on this and turn around to tell us no money for the factories because NDC chopped all the money. Hashtag incompetence. Emmanuel Ofori writes, Ghanaians, what do you expect? Kufuor used Ghana at 50 to steal our money. What do you expect from the MPP? The tradition goes on. You guys will see Nanado chop the money some. And Kwesi Boateng writes, in my view, the day should be celebrated, but that celebration should not make somebody's father buy a new car or load his bank account. After all, in our various secondary schools, we celebrate 60 years when it falls, when it's due, but no one becomes rich through that.
An optimistic Kobe says, what have we achieved as a nation? On what basis, I'm sure that's what you want to say, are we celebrating? Are we sure we are proud of Mother Ghana celebrating the 60th birthday with its citizens being captives of corruption? Mr. President, with all due respect, I think you have made some promises to us as a nation, and it will be better if you save that money you're going to spend and probably do something meaningful with it, because Ghanaians are going to hold you by your words. And that's optimistic, Kobe. And finally, a 39-year-old man has been proven innocent after he was jailed for 15 years for defiling and impregnating his student who was 14 years at the time. The teacher, who has always maintained his innocence, was finally vindicated and has since been acquitted and discharged by the Supreme Court after a DNA test carried out on the baby, believed to have been a result of the defilement, proved he is not the biological father of the baby. Of course, he is seeking compensation from the state, but one thing that cannot be overlooked is how he feels emotionally about this. Let's listen to this guy.
In fact, even though the court has vindicated me, I will still be glad if she can open her mouth and tell the world that who actually had an affair with her and for which reason that she connived with other people to implicate me in this case. In fact, that is what I actually want to hear from her. I don't have any grudge against her. I just want to hear that from her own mouth, willingly, that it is this, it is that made me to do this. And if she can mention that it is this person that who did this to me, and he was afraid and he connived that I should implicate you rather.
All right, so tell me, what would you do, or what you would do if you were in the shoes of this young man?
15 years of your life spent behind bars is not a joke, you know. But then if you have the means, or if your family is well able to cater for you, then it should be. Other than that, the state should be held liable, because investigation should have been done properly before you were incarcerated. If that wasn't done, then I believe what should have happened is the state must have a machinery or must have a system to take care of you out of jail. Because you may be a jail bed. It's difficult for a jail bed to get employment anyway in this country. So if you come from jail, the state must take care of you. That's what I think. I think the state must put measures in place to ensure you have a very, very good life. That's what I think.
God, in his own way, he knows how he does his thing. So I think this very young man should give all the thanks to the Lord, because the Lord knows where he wants him to be before he prays him there. So now that he's out of from jail, I think he should find something better and then do with his life. I think that way it will help him.
To me, I think it's the law has taken its portion and then he has gone to serve. So probably, coming back, there's nothing you can do. You just give it to God, and then probably there is a reason why anything happens. Maybe you don't know what is ahead of you, or maybe God was trying to prevent you for something else. That's why it made it happen. So just give it to God and then you keep on moving. At the end of the day, 15 years, you are back. Life still goes on. Okay, so you can go back to his normal life and then just come back. There's nothing you can do. You can't beat the lady or anything. You can't harm her. You can't do anything. So just go on with your normal life. And that's all. Because assuming you go back to harm the lady too, the law can take you again. And then you go into another mess. So you just keep on moving.
Oh, I'll just leave it to God, because God has done anything for me already. Because yes, as how do you call it? The thing come out, the baby is not for me. It means God has judged everything for me. So I will leave it like that.
Interesting issue there. Let's see what you've been saying on Facebook.
Yes, so Frederick Ni Kote says the prosecutor must also be in jail. He didn't do his homework well. That's a good point. Kwesi Boateng Ayipa writes, in other countries, such a person will be compensated, but I don't know that of Ghana. Well, Kwesi, there's a process for him to go through. He must apply for compensation, and compensation will be paid him duly. Rich Brunei Dar es Salaam says he should be given whatever after hearing his name. He should be given whatever after hearing his name, his price. All those prosecutor and the girls. Okay, after the hearing, all the prosecutor and the girl should also be jailed. And Demidia Simon says, in fact, he should sue the state over defamation of character and negligence.
Yes, I think it's something that he can do because this is it's defamed his image, his reputation in society.
Years.
How is he going to face the whole world?
Exactly.
And how is he going to explain one after the other to people that, listen, the court has set me free because I didn't do it. The harm, you know, when you has already been caused, it's difficult to be able to restore that image. So he can sue the state over defamation, and even he can sue the girl's family who backed her to do that. Now, the brief says, I would have accepted being a citizen and not a spectator. Ghana is in hard times. Ishaku Abdulaziz says he must be paid all the money he should have been paid as salary, including 2 billion Ghana cedis for the punishment. But in Kenneth Dankwa says, you know, those compensations don't normally work in Ghana. So please go back and start your teaching work.
But the point is, even if he goes back, I mean, how are the students and the pupils going to see him? Like you said, his image has been damaged.
It's been dented, and you know, normally it takes a long time to be able. All right.